Okay, sorry about quality. There's the envelope. I'm not going to show my address, but I asked for a freedom of information request from the DWP and Atos, who have taken a whole year to process a personal independent payment application. They've made 3 appointments, and each time they make one I have a go at them, they claim they never made any previous appointments, which are all on my blog, so they're lying about that. They've turned me down for applications for the past 5 years, for the 5 times for the past 2 years, and they've turned me down longer. I used to get it, if you don't know this already. It was cancelled 5 years ago, and I've been leading them up the garden path to catch them out ever since. Now, the original letter is still in the scanner, I'm afraid, which comes on the top. Now, if you look at this, I can tell you now, I got a package. It's way late. I asked for this quite possibly a year ago. I got a phone call 6 weeks ago. I got apologised to and told that they couldn't find anything. I asked for a freedom of information request, and I requested all medical documentation that they held on me for the past 10 years. Now, there should have been dozens of them that I've supplied, plus 1, 2, 3, there should have been 5 forms filled in by different GPs at least, maybe even more than that. Letters from different hospitals, different GPs, loads of stuff that I put on the blog. I got a phone call about a month, 4 to 6 weeks ago from the DWP, not PIPS, but their Freedom of Information Request Department, apologising because they couldn't find anything. And the lady said, whether I find anything or not, in the next 2 weeks I will answer you. And she has. And I got this sort of 60-page report about 5 weeks ago. Now, to my shock, if I just gradually move through these, I can tell you now, right, that out of these 60 pages, right, it's not the fact that there's 60 pages here. What will become clear, or what you will ask yourself of the Department of Work and Pensions, is why they sent me this. Because not only is it not what I asked for, not only does it not contain anything I asked for, but what they actually have sent me is going to be a bit of a surprise. Right, because as you go through these, right, these are printouts of every single email that I sent and they sent back. Right, every single page. Well, actually, no, that's a lie, because there's a series of pages at the back here, and I don't know what they are. Right, I'm not going to show you because it's got my national insurance number on it, but they're just some sort of silly printout. They're mostly blank with some readouts like that on the top. I don't know what they are. I'm not really interested to know, because if I can't tell them on first glance, they're utterly pointless and a waste of time. But the rest of these, there's a glossary of terms, forgot about that, with a staple in it. The rest of these are literally just printouts of emails. Right, I asked them for every single medical record they had on me. When the lady phoned me and told me that she couldn't find any, bearing in mind this lady is not part of PIPS, Personal Independent Payments, she wasn't part of DLA, She's not part of employment support allowance, and she's not part of job seekers or universal credit. She's just a lady that deals with the legal requests. I asked her, I said, well, if you can't find any medical evidence, which I have given you, and you have received forms filled in by at least 5 different doctors, how is it that you've turned my applications down? 4 PIPs is the latest one, which we're about to turn down, or it's taken them a year. 5 times for disability living allowance. How is it you've turned me down, right, without any medical evidence at all? And she said, I don't know. I have that on tape. I say tape, I mean I have a digital recording of it. I've yet to sort it out because I've had a lot going on, and I don't know whether it's part of my main condition, but for the past at least 9 weeks I've been through hell, and I've been in hospital, and I've been in a lot of pain on and off, and I don't quite know what's going on, and neither do they. And they thought I had stomach cancer. I thought I was dying at one stage. I must admit, the thought had crossed my mind. My great-grandfather died of it in a lot of pain. I was in a lot of pain, in different types of pains. But anyway, you know, I offer them up excuses without realising it, for them, with the intention that they make a beeline and use things against me, not realising that I know damn well what they're doing, because I sort of offered it up as a target. I can say this here because it won't be typed, so they won't be able to search it, but, and this is the clever part, where Atos and the DWP are concerned, I allow them to use the excuse that I have a bad memory as one of my conditions. I also allow them to do things knowing that I can't get very far. I know, and they don't, that as soon as they do these things, they've fallen into my trap straight away. That's just one of a couple, that's just one of a great many things that I do with them, when they think they're smarter than me, and I'm just outwitting the hell out of them and running them around in circles. But one of my conditions, it's very difficult for me to keep track of a lot of things, even taking pills at the right times on a daily basis, which I often screw up, and I just can't seem to get around to getting on top of it. But that part of my condition, the bad memory, is something I allow them to use, and it's one of the many reasons the blog exists. So here they are. I don't know what they think. I'm going to email them back right after I've done this, and I'm going to put this on YouTube. I don't know what in the world they think they were doing by doing this. This lady's obviously been told to send this to make it look like, hopefully I'll just think, oh, it's a load of legal stuff because I'm a bloody idiot, so they've sent me the stuff I asked for and leave it all alone. Of course, I opened it and flicked through it and thought, well, hang on a minute, this is all my emails. Why do I want these? They're on my bloody blog. I keep everything. They know I keep everything. I've warned them. And I do that to make them look like idiots for when they do things like this. And it's like, well, look at them, they're idiots. They know about the blog, they've got the address of the blog, they're far too scared to take me to court. I'd welcome a court action against me. I'd love it. They won't scare me into closing nothing down, because I don't have anything to hide. I haven't done anything wrong. I've made no false accusations, claims, or committed any fraud of any kind. I'd quite welcome a legal battle between me and them. I've provoked them enough to do it, and they just won't do it. And time after time I lay all these traps. Most of the time I even forget about them. When the lady phoned me, I mean, they've sent me proof that I've already told them over and over and over, there, I cannot travel beyond Enfield unless assisted. right? They're actually sending me proof that I've warned them of this repeatedly, and they're sending me for appointments that are further and further and further away. The latest one being Lambeth in South London, and I'm in Enfield just outside North London. I mean, the incompetence is absolutely staggeringly mind-blowing. I mean, what moron thinks up of these tricks? They don't even have a shred of intelligence at all. I don't even know how they've got away with it for as long as they have. Anyway, I digress. But what in the world they thought I was going to do with these, I don't know. I mean, these are just my reports that I've made out on a word processor. So I've obviously saved them. I've pasted them into an email and sent them off. Right, they've replied, and I've then replied to that with another report I've made out. You know, and this has been going on and on and on. A lot of these are double-sided as well. And there are about 60 pages here in all. And many of these are double-sided, so, you know, you could say there's 100 pages. 100 pages, they've sent me 100 pages, right, of stuff that I typed out. I typed out and sent to them. Why would they send me the stuff that I typed out? And that is the sum total of my Freedom of Information request to the Department of Work and Pensions and Atos Healthcare, requesting all of the medical evidence they possess on me, both of which I've handed them over the past 10 years, and those that various GPs have handed in. One of which told me they were lying about her because they claimed, and I've got the letter here somewhere and it's on the blog, I got a letter saying that my GP filled in the form wrong. Where's that form? You know, one GP filled in the form twice. She did it a second time and told me they were lying about her and said she'd filled it in wrong. She said it's absolute rubbish, they automatically send it back. She did another one anyway. You know, so there's two forms. One they already admitted they had, which was filled in wrong. Where is it? It's not in here, but that's what I requested. And one or two things was going to happen when I made this request. As I say, everything I do is a trap. Doesn't matter whether it's the police, local councils, social workers departments, the Department of Work and Pensions, or the Ombudsman. Doesn't matter who it is. You know, you have to really think about what I do, what I say, because everything's normally multifaceted with a series of holes, and basically it doesn't matter which way you go, there's a hole waiting for you to fall in. So I thought, if I do this, which I'd forgotten about until they phoned me and apologised, which if they hadn't have done, I would have forgotten all about it, because of the memory issues of my condition of fibromyalgia, and fibrofog is what they call the memory issues. I thought they would either actually drop doctors or GPs in it, even though they've asked them to lie about their own patients, the British public, right? So I thought either they'd drop the GPs in it somewhere along the line of the last 10 years, drop themselves in it, or both. So this actually tells me that according to them, the 5 or 6 doctors they've written to in the past 10 years have never sent them any forms back. Strange behaviour for half a dozen professional GPs, is it not? Or is it the fact that now that they know, the GPs have actually done as they're told and falsified, as they have been asked to do up and down the country, the paperwork, and now that they know that I've requested it, they've got some sort of agreement with the DWP and the government that at any time that somebody that comes along smart enough like me to make a Freedom of Information request for the documentation that they've filled in on my behalf of my conditions that have been falsified, that they cannot hand over the documentation, because it won't be the DWP open for prosecution or legal action taken against. It would be the GPs, because the DWP will just go, well, these are the forms we got. There'd be nothing down saying, oh, can you fill these in how we want you to, so we can refuse them money, because we don't want to make the rich people in the UK pay. We want to make the poor people pay that had nothing to do with it, including working classes, benefit claimants, job seekers and disabled people, as this is what this in particular is all about. This is PIPs and DLA. This is disabled people. This is the way the British government and the British system and the public services treat people. You've seen plenty of it from the police, various things. You're hearing more and more and more because of my blog and the things that I do. This is a very good example of everything I've done. Now, you'll be watching this on YouTube, but this will actually be linked in to my blog on corruption, which has somewhere near 3,000 posts, and I have 100 gigabytes of evidence that's just so ridiculously huge, it's ludicrous. So those of you that suspect that you've been screwed, or that they've been screwing somebody you care about, someone in your family, somebody you love, or they're screwing somebody in your family that's old and you think they're going senile and they're insisting that these people have said one thing and done something else, there you go. This is why I do it, because I know a lot of people out there, it won't be just a simple case of the fact that these people are screwing them. It's the fact that there'll be knock-on effects that will affect their personal life among their friends and family and people closest to them. They can possibly become alienated and cut off from possibly everyone. If not most people, it can be everyone, and that is a form of cruelty based upon greed, because they don't have gonads to make the people responsible pay for what they've done. And when you lose the trust of the British public on a wider scale, of those that give a monkeys, I'm afraid you get a system failure, and that is what's going to happen. I've tried to tell them in a roundabout way, but they don't really listen. So there you go. This is a Freedom of Information request, which has to be answered in a given time, as stated out by British law. They have failed to do it in a certain time. They have failed to find a single shred of anything to do with my health on me at all for 10 years. And to make it look good, they've sent me 60 pages of stuff that I emailed to them. I think I rest my case. I hope I've been of help.